Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to Murkwater again. So, as you can see, I've already made a small start here, as there was a slight incident involving some Mirelurks. So these are foundation pieces from the warehouse tab. I've got these in place because I'm building over water and on an uneven surface as well, and these will allow me to have a nice flat surface to work on, and they'll also allow me to sink the pillar in as well, which will be very handy later on. So, as I said last time, there's a bit of an issue trying to figure out what to do here beyond sort of the basic stuff. But I've got a bit of a set piece here for a water purifier build, which I'm really happy with the results on. So we're going to start out by creating a circular walkway that the purifier, is going to be in the middle of. So I had hoped to review a little tutorial, but unfortunately the person whose tutorial I was going to review, it seems to have abandoned their channel, and there's no video there anymore, so I had to try and do this from memory. However, it came out reasonably well. So I'm going to start off by putting, as you can see already, the 4 in just to mark out the edges. I'm going slightly larger than the single central foundation piece, that's the word I'm looking for. And actually what you're seeing here is it's a little too close in, which is why I'm having the collision issue here. So I ended up moving them all a little bit further back off camera, and then they go in much more easily. After that, it's just a case of going corner to corner to create this. So you can snap, which is what I tried to do here, but the end result is not even vaguely circular. I really wasn't happy with it. And the more you do it, the more textures mash up together in the same area, and the more glitching you get from it, and flickering and so on and so forth. So I do not recommend this approach you're seeing right now. So we'll jump back to the basic again, and there we go, and do it the other way, as this actually does work. If you do want to have it filled in the middle, then you can just snap stuff in, and that works fine. In fact, it's probably the best way of doing it. But when you want to leave it open like this, it's definitely better to do it this way. So we're going to mix up the textures, which is why I'm using this piece, and conveniently that little board will sit just on top of the others with a little bit of a adjustment. There we go. So I'm focusing on the outside edge here rather than the inside one, just to line it up, make that look a lot neater. Mix and match a little bit. Obviously by extension of getting the outside right and more circular, the inside follows suit as well. A little pro tip here for you, by the way, is that when you're building over water, you can find that if you place stuff down in the water, you won't be able to get hold of it again. Hence why I'm lifting it up with the pillar again there. I forget why I ended up doing that. I think I was just not paying attention, to be honest, but it did cause a slight issue, that. Actually, more when I did the first video on this place, actually, but I thought I've got the opportunity to show you what I was talking about. I shall do so. This particular one, I've actually got it the wrong way around, so I'm adjusting it. Because you can see that corner sticks right over the edge. Being as I want to put something in the middle, I don't really want to risk the collision issue with it. So, spin it round, reposition it, and we don't have that problem anymore. There we go. We now have a complete, pretty much, circle. Just like that. As you can see, things will just snap on the inside if you want to, so you can just snap, snap, snap away and everything will fill in eventually. For the moment, however, this little walkway is a little too narrow for me. I want to do a little bit more with it than just have something you can walk on. So I also want to do make a bit of a set piece of it, as I said. So we're going to double up its width. It's just a case of snapping directly to the inner track. So you can see it's going to leave little gaps between them, but we'll cover those up with plywood boards later on anyway. This last one's a little fussy, but it will go in with a little persuasion. I promise. There we go. So there we go. As I say, we'll have to cover up those gaps, but they're actually kind of handy for now. So, carefully removing these just to make sure that the floor pieces are resting on the top rather than actually snap to it. Otherwise they'll just disappear with the foundations, which is not what I wanted. Fortunately, it's plain ball, so We have a nice floating walkway. So I'm going to put the purifier in the middle. If you can see the tap on the right there, that's sort of my guide for how high I want the floor in relation to it. Because it's well below the level of the floor at the minute, so it would make it rather unusable. So we'll drop it down. Drop the purifier back in. There we go. Try not to accidentally wire it before I'm ready. And now we can just group select the whole thing back up to the height I want it. And conveniently, because Murkwater lives up to its name, you can't even tell that the thing's floating, if it even is, because I do realise those legs sink, or pipes sink away under the ground anyway. There we go. So what's next? Ah yes, supports. So I did think about using the supports that we used last time, but they're quite a pain to use and very straight, so I thought I'd use a shack bridge and mix it up, and because it'll probably be easier. This one's got a slight curve to the left there, which is also helpful with the circle. It doesn't make a great deal of difference, but it does help. And we'll use the warehouse pillar rather than the concrete one, as it's a little bit taller and the concrete one won't quite do the job here. And group selected into place. So the other thing to bear in mind is that, as you can see here, I'm off-centre with the pillar, which means I can't quite get it into that gap between the floor pieces. So I can't push it as far underneath as I'd like. Because obviously, if I move the pillar any further away, it won't group select. So when you get it lined up properly, much easier. I don't know, I said last time that these particular bridges have been adjusted so that they'll now snap on their own, or placeable on their own. But Murkwater's being a bit funny, so I did end up placing that other bridge just to snap it to, so it'll cooperate a little bit more. Just the uneven ground and stuff, I think. There we go. Have I made the same mistake again? No, we're good. It's a little fussy with how close it'll sit and so on, but with a little bit of fiddling it goes in. There we go. So, same thing repeated all the way around the outside, then I hopped up and did it on the inside as well, so it looks properly supported all the way around. We'll get some railings in there. Once I've done this, I'll be moving on to decoration and the tour, which, regarding the decoration, there's quite a big jump from where we leave it to the tour, so it's basically just putting stuff in place and adjusting minutely until it plays ball, really. It's not anything particularly remarkable to it, so I haven't left you wondering how to do anything particularly difficult. Yeah, leave a nice little bit of access to the tap there. This gap is a little large, and so is the one next to it to the left, so slap in some railings from the concrete tab, and it solves the problem quite nicely, actually. They're considerably more cooperative than the wooden ones are. There we go. Pull out. And that is the structure. So need some railings around the outside. There we go. So, tour. So yeah, you can see I've put the tents up there. As I say, no particular trick to doing that, just patience, really. They do go in, they're a bit awkward. See, the leg's doing fairly well there. I did think about taking the time and effort to plug those outer railings up a little bit, but it will probably connect to something else in time as well, and I'm not quite sure how yet, so we'll see what's what when the time comes, but for now I'm leaving them as is. A little bit of a workstation there, so I can keep the thing in working order. And a ladder so I can reach the top of it. I did quite like this idea. Some water barrels and pallets and stuff. Not quite as neat as it could have been. Little fishing hole. When I get somebody assigned to that, that'll produce food as well. And a few more bits and pieces of decoration. I did like the bucket. It actually sits straight on the water purifier there. And a dead simple little ramp. So, thank you very much for watching. Do hope you enjoyed. Social media links as always down in the description. And I'll be speaking to you all very, very soon.